Hi guys, I went downstairs in my small bathroom in the basement. I use it as a root cellar because it stays cool and dark down there. And I noticed that my potatoes that we harvested in September were starting to get a little bit soft. So I wanted to preserve them. So what I did was I peeled them and I cut them lengthwise for two reasons. One, easier to get my food processor. And two, I left this one out to show you. You want to make sure there's no bad spots on the inside. And if there is, I'm trying to do this one-handed, you just cut them off. And that's all you have to do. Not bad for one-handed. Okay, just cut off the bad spots and then get rid of them. Anyway, you want to put your potatoes in a bowl with salt in it, of water. And then I have the food processor. Then I have another bowl with salt in it. And then I have boiling water, which I have to put salt in. And the reason I do this is it gives it a really, really good flavor. I'm doing hash browns for my first part of what I'm preserving. And it only absorbs a little bit of the salt at a time. So by the time I'm done going through the three things of salt, one, it preserves it. And two, like I said, it gives it really great, great flavor. And then, of course, a pan with paper towels on it. And I love this little thing. That's how I'm going to get my stuff out. So let's go back over here. Okay. Grab a couple of these. I'm going to stick this in here. Okay, turn it on. There we go. There we go. Ah, took off on me. I might need to put a towel under it. I've got tile and it's pretty slick. But anyway, you can see I'm making the hash browns. I'm not going to run you through the whole thing because it gets really noisy. But I will bring you back. Okay, I put a towel under here, worked much better. And these are some pieces that were left after I shredded it. I'm going to show you in a little bit what I'm going to do with those. But anyway, we have our shredded potatoes. And we're going to move them. See if I can do that over here. There we go. And like I said, I have a pot of boiling water right here. I don't need to use this yet. My hands are clean. I'm going to take my potatoes and I'm going to throw them in the boiling water. Be careful not to burn yourself. Okay. Probably about 2 handfuls because a little bit, there you go. About 2.5. I don't want to overload my pan. Okay, remember these are staying in the salt water, which another thing the salt water does, which I really like, it keeps my potatoes from turning gray. Okay, now you're going to keep these in the water. Let me stir them. Okay, and we're going to keep them in the water for 3 minutes. And as soon as 3 minutes is up, then we'll transfer them. I'm a little pretty flame. We'll transfer them. Sorry guys, I can't talk. To my little pan over here, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, as you can see, I'm getting a lot of starch build up. See that? That's because my potatoes are old and the starch has built up in them. But that's fine. That won't hurt anything. So when you do yours, just expect that. It's not a big deal, nothing to worry about. Okay? It's just, like I said, my potatoes were from September harvest, and they're getting a little old. There's our timer. So they're going to have a lot, build up of starch. Turn this off. Okay, and then I'm going to come in, and I'm going to use this screen and get out my potatoes. Like I said, this is after 3 minutes. You don't want to go more than 3 minutes. Okay. Alright. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to add in my last batch. Try to drain some of the water out here with my hand. we go. I got this big piece of potato. I'm going to set this aside. Because like I said, that's going to go for the next thing I make out of these potatoes. Okay. There we go. Okay. Let's work those down in there. And we're going to go, that water's still hot, so we're going to go another 3 minutes. I'm not worried about it boiling because it's super, super hot. Okay, 3 minutes on this batch, guys. Alright, and I'm also going to put this over here. I'm also going to spread this out just a little bit. Woo, baby, that's hot. Let's use a spoon. Okay, I'm going to have to get a second pan. Alright. There we go. And like I said, a lot of people, when their potatoes start getting soft, they throw them away, and there's no reason to. Because believe it or not, when you use the potatoes that have gotten a little soft, make great hash browns. Really, really good hash browns. Okay, and we're going to come here and get a paper towel, or a couple. There we go. And I'm just going to pat these just a little bit. Move my spoon here. Okay. There we go. Now, I'm going to just set this pan aside. I might come in and blot the potatoes a little bit one more time here in a little bit, but basically set the pan aside because you want to let these things dry. And like I said, because we use the salt and the water, you're not going to have to worry about them turning brown on you. But you do want to leave them out and let them get dry. Sorry guys, I almost forgot a step. Before you put them on the pan to dry, when you take them out of the boiling water for 3 minutes, you want to put them in cold water and just stir them a little bit. And like I said, my hands are very clean. You can use a spoon if you want. I just want to make sure I get down at the bottom. And this is for me and my family. I'm not selling it or anything. Anyway, salted water again, lightly salted. And leave them in the cold water for about 3 to 4 minutes. The reason for this is, 1, you're going to stop the cooking process. And 2, you want to get that starch water off of them. So I would say after a minute, drain them and put them back in the cold water with salt again, just to make sure you get all the starch off of them. Okay, and then you move on to putting them on the pan with the with the paper towels and let them dry. I do apologize, I completely forgot this step. So once again, when you take them out of the pan of the water that you've had in for 3 minutes, the hot water, boiling water, put them in a bowl of cold water with salt. Let them sit for 2.5 minutes. Drain them. Let them sit for another minute or 2 in fresh water. And then transfer them to your pan with the paper towels on it to dry. Okay guys. After I rinsed them, or put them in the cold salt water. After that, I rinsed them real good with cold water in a strainer and then put them out on my little trays to dry. And I'm so sorry about missing that step, guys. But like I told you, I could edit it out and make it look like I did it perfect. But I always said that I'm going to be honest with you guys. So when I make a mistake, you're going to see it. The other thing I wanted to bring up is, I know a lot of people are going to say, you don't need that much salt. You don't need to rinse them that much. You don't need this. You don't need that. Or I'm doing it wrong. But you have to understand, everybody does everything a little differently. Not one way is the right way. There's plenty of right ways to do stuff. This is just how I do it and what my family likes. And I really like this method. It turns out great for me every time, and the flavor is fantastic when I cook them up. Okay guys, it's been about an hour, and some of this I'm preserving, as you can see, in my dehydrator. There we go. Let me get these extra, whoa, gotta get these extra trays off here. Sit right. Ah. Sorry, I was doing onions too, and I got the onion stuff on it. I'm going to set that, and we'll let that go, and we'll dehydrate those potatoes. And then over here, sorry, I just got done dehydrating onions, is my other part of it. And all I did was portion it out on a pan with parchment paper, and 6 little servings. That way, we just pull out a serving. If he feels like hash browns and I don't, I just pull out 1 serving. And we had a pizza party last night, so you can see all the leftover pizza. Anyway, you want to set this like this in your freezer. Close up the freezer. Is it going to work? No, I got too much stuff in here. Okay, I'll put it on the top. That'll work. We'll put it on the top. Okay? And then once it's frozen, I'll pull it off the parchment paper, and I will put it in a ziploc bag. There's my peelings over there, and it'll be ready to go for when I want it. Just pull it out, and I can throw it in the pan with oil, even though it's still frozen, and cook it up. And when these are done over here, I will add some dried onion to them, throw them in an airtight container, and throw them in my pantry. Here's the ones I froze. You can see they're hard as a rock. These I put in individual portion sizes, and I'm just going to put them in here. But because I froze them separate, even though I put them in the bag, since they're already frozen, they're not going to freeze together. So, or stick together. They're going to stay separate. So when I want hash browns, I can just grab out, and this is enough for me and my husband. We don't eat a lot of hash browns, just 1 of these. I can just grab one out of the bag, and you can let it thaw out, or you can go ahead, get down. You know better, get down. Or you can cook it frozen. I've done both. Anyway, I just put them in a Ziploc bag, and then I'll put them back in the freezer. And then when I'm ready for hash browns, I just grab me out 1 of them and throw it in my oil and cook it up. Like I said, you can do it both ways. You can do it frozen or let them thaw. Me, I'm impatient, so I throw them in frozen.